Good morning. This is Revival Sunday. Our universalist heritage proposed that each person is made of divine goodness. Science offers that we are stardust. Whatever your beliefs, know that you are a gift, inherently worthy of love. You are a gift, and we are so glad you are here. Love is the spirit of all souls. In this moment of our shared journey, may you feel witnessed and honored wherever you are on your journey. Let us now greet our neighbors, especially new and returning people, with our names and pronouns.
Yes, I'm going to have it right by where they have the food. And she went home.
She's in bed.
Oh. Where are you from?
It was last place I saw.
I've been in Indianapolis since the early 90s. Oh, okay. So originally I was in Michigan. Oh, okay. But you're from here? Grew up, and I've been here over 30 years. Oh, okay. My children are Hoosiers and came here. This is the first church they came to. Oh, okay. Long time UU. We're delighted to be here. What a great topic.
Good morning, everyone. This is a song by Tom Paxton. Whose garden was this? It must have been lovely. Did it have flowers? I've seen pictures of flowers, and I'd love to have smelled one. Whose river was this? You say it ran freely. Blue was its color. I've seen blue in some pictures, and I'd love to have been there. Tell me again, I need to know. The forest had trees, the meadows were green, the oceans were blue, the birds really flew. Can you swear that it's true? Whose gray sky was this? Or was it a blue one? You say there were breezes. I've heard recordings of breezes, and I'd love to have felt one. Tell me again, I need to know. The forest had trees, the meadows were green, the oceans were blue, the birds really flew. Can you swear that it's true? Whose garden was this? It must have been lovely. Did it have flowers? I've seen pictures of flowers, and I'd love to have smelled one.
Thanks so much, Marianne. Good morning and welcome. Welcome to the Climate Justice Revival Worship Service. We are so glad we have entered and come into this place of rejoicing. This morning we are doing things a little differently. Keep that in mind. We need a little grace. We are joining congregations all over the country for a time of renewal and recommitment at the intersection of the climate crisis and the deep justice commitments of our congregation. Together, we can move past systems and cultures of extraction to usher in a new era with love and justice at the center. We protect what we love. So during this morning's worship, we will be remembering our love for earth, air, fire, and water. We will be tapping into our love for people, especially those first and most impacted by climate disruption. We will be celebrating all of creation and recommitting our care and protection. Let's begin with a breath of air. I invite you to just notice your breathing. However easy or labored it might be. Give thanks for those gathered with you, and give thanks for air, always present, supporting all life. I'm Crystal Francis. My pronouns are she, her. I will be serving as the worship associate / coordinator for today's service. Together with Nancy Olson, acting director of faith formation, pronouns she, her, and members of the Green Team. And that today includes Verlan Major, Lynn Martin, Diane O'Brien, Jim Scrimenti, and we've grabbed Ron Keeper to help us out today. So thank you, Ron. Thank you, the Green Team, for being with us. We also have a guest speaker. She is a former member of All Souls. Diana Ensign is an award-winning author, essayist, and longtime UU. Two of her books, Heart Guide and The Freedom to Be, are IPPY gold medal winners. I don't know what an IPPY is, but I'm sure Diana will be happy to tell you. Her newest book, Faith, Hope, Action, Ushering in a New Earth Era. Ushering in a New Earth Era Together, imparts both hopeful and practical information regarding the care of our shared earth home. Diana also writes the Simplicity for Daily Living blog found on her website. She'll be signing copies of her books after the service in Harris Hall, just directly across from the sanctuary, home of coffee and cookies. You can also visit her website to learn more. It's www.dianaensign.com. Okay. I also want to note, I don't see my favorite baby here today, but people of all ages are joyfully welcomed in the service. We do have nursery care, if that works best for your family. You'll see this connection card, or one of the lovely colors. It appears at the end of the pews. Please, even if you've been here forever, fill out a connection card. It helps us know, one, that you're still alive, but also it's a place for you to put comments, to update information. to make a request. It just helps you stay connected, and that's really what we want. We don't need any secret information. Just, help you stay part of our congregation. New people especially, so that we know that you were here. This coming month, this weekend especially, we're recognize high holy Jewish holidays. Rosh Hashanah begins Wednesday at sundown, and Yom Kippur begins October 11th, also at sundown. We have a few announcements. The Rooted Book Group hike that was scheduled today after the service at Fort Bend has been canceled. It's going to occur next weekend. So please join them and note the change. As we begin our time together, we acknowledge the land itself and those who have sustained it through the generations. We are upon the unceded land of the Lenape, Miamia, Kaskaskia, Shawnee, and Kickapoo people who were pushed from their land and whose children have been stolen for generations. As we strive to be a community of justice, may we continue to find ways to make reparations. Nadia Carmody is helping us with the chalice lighting today. No, not yet. Throughout religious history, revivals have marked periods of resurgence in people's commitment to their faith traditions. Classic American tent revivals took people out of the four walls of the church and into the world. They brought the community together and served as a galvanizing force for the future, often during times of great change or anxiety.
In the midst of overlapping climate crisis and the mounting social injustice, we are in a time of great change and profound anxiety. Take a note from those who have gone before us. The UUA Climate Justice Revival is meant to be a time to come together and recommit.
So as we come into worship, we light the chalice with words by Reverend Megan Foley, Deputy Director for Congregational Life at the UUA.
When Unitarian Universalists light our chalice, we are doing more than moving a bit of flame to our favorite candle. When Unitarian Universalists light our chalices, we are showing what happens when we harness the power of fire. Fire is one of our world's most sacred elements, perhaps because it always causes change. Fire warms and feeds. Fire destroys and eliminates. With a bit of attention and care, fire works with us to reveal, to show, literally to illuminate. Fire helps us to see and to survive. So fire is an especially sacred symbol today at our Climate Justice Revival, because we are in need of change. We are in need of this warmth and sustenance. We are in need to clear a bright new path for ourselves and change our world. May this cup of captured fire be a symbol today of our passion, our care, our brilliance in the face of great need. Like fire, we are powerful. Like fire, we create change.
Let us know, light our chalice, and covenant together. Please rise in body or spirit as we share the words printed in our order of service in Spanish and English. If you are with us online, please let us know in the chat where you're lighting your chalice from. We'll do the Spanish first. El amor es el espíritu de esta iglesia y el servicio es su ley. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad en el amor y ayudarnos unos a otros. Este es nuestro pacto. This is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. Thank you, Nadia. We're going to do a reading today with the Green Team, and it's by Rachel Mislivy, who is a climate justice strategist for the Side with Love organizing strategy team at the UUA. Who knew? Well, I expect some of us knew. The love that lives at the center of our faith is a love that expects nothing less of us than the rebuilding of this struggling world. We hold a love greater than we know between and among us, born from all that we hold holy. It takes many of us in community to insist that a better future is possible. As the Reverend Dr. Sofía Betancourt invites us to hold love at the center of our faith, we must ask ourselves, how do we center love in our UU climate movement? It starts when we faithfully ground our climate commitments in justice and the reality that climate change has the same roots as the extractive systems of harm and systemic oppression as all of the other injustices we fight so hard against. With the same roots and intersecting harms, climate justice is racial justice, is gender justice, disability justice, mental health justice, immigration justice, LGBTQIA+ justice, earth justice, and more. When we provide safe housing for the trans teen rejected by their parents living without shelter from climate disasters, when we offer sanctuary for our neighbors forced from their homes by climate disruption, when we open our doors as emergency shelters, when we advocate for labor protections for people working in the extreme heat, when we fiercely defend our ecosystems, our water, our soils, our air, saving them not just for the privileged few, but for all of our beloved communities. When we root our climate commitments in these changing realities, love grounds. Love at the center of the climate strategy connects us when we realize that even as the root causes are inextricably linked, so too must be the solutions. When we refuse to overlook climate injustice, when we shift from me and mine to we and ours, when we understand our interdependence, when we know in bodies that the work is more than technical solutions for those who can afford solar and electric cars, when we advocate for clean energy, clean water, clean air as human rights, as nature rights, as earth rights, love connects.
Love at the center of our climate resilience builds when we overwhelm the challenging realities with community care. As Toni Morrison says, it's not possible to constantly hold on to crisis. You have to have the love, you have to have the magic. That's also life. When we bring joy to our movement spaces, when we share snacks at our meetings as we knit socks and crack jokes, and bounce babies on our knees as we strategize, when we laugh and play, when we draw on our faith, our inner strength, our hopes, our dreams, our creativity, our magic, when we creatively and joyfully elevate all of the many, 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 many ways that we can create new worlds together. Love builds. Love at the center of our climate action transforms when we realize we need a new way, when we balance what my community needs with what brings me joy, when we experiment with new ways of being, thinking, relating, and acting together, when we admit that I alone do not have the answer, when we reject those extractive systems of harm and systemic oppression, when we reimagine our relationships, our communities, the world we want together. Love transforms. Love at the center of our climate teams nourishes when we overwhelm those challenging realities with collective care, when we recognize and honor the places where our deep gladness and the world's deep hunger meet, when we listen, when we faithfully respond, when we embrace imperfection, offer grace, when we listen with curiosity and intention, and when we communicate with humility and care, when we offer joy in the struggle. Love nourishes.
Love at the center of our UU climate movements reimagines a flourishing world. When we dream about what could be, when we commit to make it so, when we clasp our hands together and say, yes, we can do this, even when we may not yet know the way. When we guide our shared work with hope for the future and commitment to collective liberation. When we save what we love. When we joyfully, faithfully, imperfectly, and beautifully recreate our world so that all, yes, all communities thrive. Love reimagines. When love is the center of our climate movements, love grounds, love connects, love builds, love transforms, love nourishes, and love reimagines. Let us reimagine together, friends, a world where all communities thrive.
Please stand as you're able and sing hymn 1028, The Fire of Commitment.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free,
calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment binds our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
As we continue the celebration of our revival together, I am so excited to bring you a story by one of my favorite children's authors, Kobi Yamada. The images are by May Bisum. This story is called, What Do You Do with a Problem? I don't know how it happened, but one day I had a problem. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I really didn't like having a problem, but it was here. It was here. Why is it here? What does it want? What do you do with a problem? I thought. I wanted it to go away. I shooed it, I scowled at it, I tried ignoring it, but nothing worked. I started to worry about my problem. What if it swallowed me up? What if my problem sneaks up and gets me? What if it takes away all of my things? I worried a lot. I worried about what would happen. I worried about what could happen. I worried about this, and I worried about that. And the more I worried, the bigger my problem became. I wished it would just disappear. I tried everything I could to hide from it. I even found ways to disguise myself, but it still found me. And the more I avoided my problem, the more I saw it everywhere. I thought about it all the time. I didn't feel good at all. I couldn't take it anymore. This has to stop, I declared. Maybe I was making my problem bigger and scarier than it actually was. After all, my problem hadn't really swallowed me up or attacked me. I realized that I had to face it. So even though I didn't want to, I really didn't want to, even though I was really afraid, I got ready and I tackled my problem. When I got face to face with it, I discovered something. My problem wasn't what I thought it was, and I discovered that it had something beautiful inside. My problem held an opportunity. It was an opportunity for me to learn and grow, to be brave, to do something. It showed me that it was important to look closely because some opportunities only come once. So now I see problems differently. I'm not afraid of them anymore because I know their secret. Every problem has an opportunity for something good. You just have to look for it. And that, my loves, is the end of our story.
That was Sofía Betancourt from the UUA. Really good story. Please join me in taking a few moments to note that which is bringing joy or sorrow to our community. I have to say, I'm struggling today for the joy. There seems to be a lot to be sorrowful about. Our world is on fire, and it's just painful to imagine all that's going on, both in the Middle East, in the Sudan, and elsewhere in the world. We should hold in our hearts those who've been injured by the storms and the flooding waters, those who are without electricity. I expect there are some here today who are without electricity. Anybody else? Jane Murphy's brother, Dan Digelow, is a 2-star general, but he's been deployed to Kuwait. We hold Jane and her brother and family in our hearts and prayers. Sue McKee, Doris's neighbor, died this week. Please hold Doris and Miss McKee's family in your prayers. Zach Shanetsky was scheduled to be here with the Green Team today, but his family is suffering a health crisis, and he had to be with them today. Our hearts are with Zach. If you're feeling overwhelmed, or maybe you're hearing the message today, and you want to do something, one thing you can do is meet with the Green Team in Harris Hall after today's service. They would be glad to talk to you about all the opportunities to join the justice fight for environmental justice. Can I get an amen for that? Because this is a revival, you know. Now the Green Team is going to do a presentation for us, and Diane O'Brien is going to lead that, so please give them your full attention. Thank you.
Please rise in body or spirit for the prayers of the people and planet. Fear stifles imagination and limits our capacity for relationships that embrace our beautiful and abundant humanity. Fear creates cynical cycles of supremacy and extractive relationships with each other and our planet. Reimagining together is how we overcome fear. Reimagining together is how we build new relationships and a new era, putting love at the center. Today, especially, we put love at the center of our work for climate justice. Please join in the prayers of the people and planet. Our congregational response is, let us reimagine a new era together.
Beginning right here in our congregation, we pray for ourselves that we open our hearts to be companions, caring for a hurting world and committing to create a world of flourishing. Let us reimagine a new era together. With reverence for the great web of life and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. We commit to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. So we pray for land, ecosystems, all species, the entire natural world. Let us reimagine a new era together. We pray for justice for the local frontline communities who are impacted first, worst, and longest by climate change, and who face systemic oppression. Let us reimagine a new era together.
In our reimagining, we gain the capacity to recommit to communities of mutual support, which are the building blocks of an ecosystem of mutual survival. We look towards each other, people of faith, good conscience, and spirit, leaning on one another and trusting in the hope that we can create together. We make right the wrongs of the past, not by ignoring them, but by doing the difficult work of dismantling the oppressive systems and behaviors that feed our illusion of separation. May we live in a way that honors our interdependence and acts in accordance with our interconnection with all people and with the planet.
As we begin in local, committed communities of support, we find the strength and courage to widen our circles of concern, resisting hierarchies of value and ideologies of scarcity. Let us reimagine a new era together. In our widening and deepening connections, we discover relations in the salt-kissed island of Kiribati, the solid and frozen ground of Newtok, Alaska, and the life-giving valley of the Rio Guapino. Let's imagine a new era together. With humility and commitment, we acknowledge our own part in so much harm to our relations. Saltwater encroachment, dying permafrost, and the poison refuse of illegal mining. Let us reimagine a new era together. May we set down fear. May our courage to face the intersecting systems of harm lead to the strength to create intersecting practices of love and healing so that all may flourish.
Let us reimagine the new era together.
Reimagining together, we build new relationships. We put love at the center of climate justice work and commit. Amen.
all my dry land heart can say. I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I traveled, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Good morning again. I'm so excited to be here for the UU Climate Justice Revival. And I love that song. It's beautiful. Thank you. The wide universe that we travel. Yeah, that's a good one. So I want to thank Reverend Katie for inviting me to say a few words about my new book, Faith, Hope, Action, Ushering in a New Earth Era Together. So our Unitarian Universalist values include respect for the interdependent web of existence of which we are all a part. And when grounded in love, that can serve us on our earth care journey. So this book, Faith, Hope, Action, it began with my concern about the climate crisis and our environmental challenges. I wanted to know, what's going on? What are the root causes of the problem? And more importantly, what can we do? So art, whether it's a book or music or some other expression, visual art, it can help us guide us on a path toward healing, and it can also help us become more aware, more engaged, and more attuned to what is needed for healthy change. So Faith, Hope, Action is a clarion call for the old destructive culture to step aside because something new and beautiful is being birthed. As Greta Thunberg said, creative expression fuels our imagination, and our imagination fuels our dreams for a better world. So we are now at a pivotal moment of transition and transformation with regard to the urgent care of our earth home. There's lots of bad news out there. I'm sure we're all aware of it. I was talking to someone in the social hall who is here today because her trip to North Carolina was canceled. So I don't need to go into all the problems. I think you can't not know about the problems. They're there. But the good news is there are lots of solutions, right? That interconnected web of existence of which we are a part. There are lots of things we can do to help. One of the things I mentioned in my book was a community in Florida that during the hurricane had solar power. And so during the hurricane, that community didn't lose their power, right? So that's just one example. But even simple things like planting a tree, right? When you plant a tree, you are creating habitat for numerous creatures. You are providing cooling shade in the summer. The deep roots of the tree help absorb the rain to help with urban flooding. That's one of the issues in our community that I'm passionate about. It also helps store carbon to alleviate global warming. So just that simple act of planting trees is helpful. We can also get rid of our grass lawns and replace them with native plants to benefit pollinators. There are lots and lots of things we can do. But saving our planet is going to take all of us. So that's one of the main messages of my book. A cultural shift happens more effectively, more widely, and universally when we combine our efforts to care for Mother Earth, caring for our waters, our forests, our air, and for each other, right? So the book's subtitle is Ushering in a New Earth Era Together. So the new paradigm we want to usher forth is healthy people, healthy communities, and a healthy planet. Okay? So we achieve that vision by joining together in conversations on critical earth care topics, by joining together in collective actions and advocacy, by joining together in song and celebration like today. So Faith Hope Action has sustainability discussion sessions at the end. So the book has 11 chapters, so it's divided up in the very back with 11 sessions that can be used for book clubs or just, small group gatherings on environmental topics with questions and potential action steps. So the goal is we become a powerful force for positive change. And we don't have to do this work alone. And as we join together, we begin to dream new dreams. We reinvent, reimagine, recreate our world. We awaken humanity to nourishing ways of being in beloved community. So the interconnected web of life, to go back to that, it means everything we do matters, right? Our life is the message, everything we do. So I want to thank you for being here, for being part of the solution just by coming today and engaging. And I want to conclude with a quote by Buckminster Fuller, who was an inventor, environmental activist. So he says, in order to change an existing paradigm, you do not struggle to try and change the problematic model. You create a new model, and you make the old one obsolete. So thank you.
Climate justice is not abstract. It starts close to home and impacts people, including all of us and our neighbors. It is not a contest between our commitments to the planet and our commitments to a more just society. In fact, these commitments are one and the same. Our congregation is committed to a just world of abundance, care, and love. And that commitment includes funding. Please give generously to the life and work of our beloved Earthling community and our work for climate justice. Our Share the Plate recipient today is Interfaith Power and Light. They work locally and nationally to create a better world, just like we do. To contribute, you can gift cash or a check in the collection plate, or if online, you can go to allsoulsindy.org, where you will find a link that says Give to All Souls Here on the left side. It's beneath the description for today's service. Please indicate if your gift is a pledge payment or if it is Share the Plate, if you are paying online or with check. Thank you for your generosity in supporting the mission of All Souls and for your continued love for one another and for this world. The morning offering may now be given and gratefully received.
If you're not following the order of service, you ought to read the titles of what Liz has been playing today and what her final piece is going to be. Ron Keeper told me before we started the service that some people hear in color. I find that an incredible thought. Anyway, I misspoke earlier. The green team is meeting in the library, just to the left as you leave the sanctuary, at 11:30. So there's plenty of time to get a cup of coffee or a glass of water and whatever goodies there are. Again, thank you for coming today. Thank you for those who are with us online. We're really grateful to have you. The words of the Reverend Peggy Clark. Knowing how quickly the flame of truth may be extinguished, how easily the chalice of fellowship broken, let us be vigilant in faith, keep peace in our hearts, and make care for one another the watchword of our lives together. So our light goes out everywhere into the world. Our light goes out everywhere healing and hope are needed. Let us go in peace and love, serve this world and one another. So be it.